What I'm about to tell you could be the difference between you keeping thousands of dollars in your pocket or not. We're going to talk about a little terminology today, and don't get me wrong, I know it's not the most exciting thing to talk about, but it's very important that you understand these two terms. Most of you already know me, but in case you don't, my name is Ellie Valters. I am team leader of Move Real Estate Group in southeastern Wisconsin, brokered by EXP. All right, so let's get into it. So the two terms we're going to go over today are going to be price decrease and closing cost credit. And they are very, very different. And let me explain why. A price decrease is just that. Both parties, buyers and sellers, agree to decrease the agreed upon purchase price. So let's use the example of $300,000 as the purchase price. Buyer and seller agree to decrease the price by $10,000 in this instance, which would make the new purchase price of that home $290,000. All right, so that one's pretty simple. So the next one is the closing cost credit. And the difference in that is going to be credit at closing, where you get to keep funds that you were going to originally have to pay. Let's use the instance of a $300,000 home again. Buyer and seller agree to a $5,000 closing cost credit. So the purchase price is going to stay the same at $300,000, but that credit is going to come off the funds that you need to bring to closing. So where it gets a little bit tricky is it's not your down payment, it's a closing cost credit. So that's going to go towards your closing costs, which are typically lender fees and insurance and taxes. These prices can always vary, so we don't always know exactly the amount of a closing cost credit that we can ask for. You're probably wondering, hey Ellie, what if the agreed upon credit is $10,000 and we can't get $10,000 in a closing cost credit? And that is a great question. Since closing cost credits can only cover the lender fees, taxes, and insurance, possibly other little fees that are in there, there's a certain amount that can go up to. So if there is an additional amount of money that can't be covered in the credit, what we can do is we can split up the two. So we can do, let's say again, in a $300,000 price home, and we have a $10,000 discrepancy, we can use $5,000 for the closing cost credit and then $5,000 in a price reduction. So we are able to split up the two in order to get you all of the money that you have coming to you. The amount of a closing cost credit that you're able to take, again, depends on the lender. So we're always going to call the lender and double check with them on what we are able to do as far as a closing cost credit before we write that amendment. It's imperative that you work with a real estate professional that knows the difference between these two terms very, very well. A lot of buyers find it advantageous to take the closing cost credit and have that extra cash in order to do maybe repairs to the home or buy new furniture or have a little extra in savings just in case. Of course, that depends on the buyer. So depending on you and your situation, you may choose one over the other, and neither is wrong. It just depends on what you would like. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call, DM me, email me. Any way is totally fine to get a hold of me. I would love to explain this to you further if something doesn't make sense. Or if you are in search of a home and you're looking for a fantastic agent, I would love to help you as well. P.S. If you're wondering, so what all goes into closing costs? Let me know. I'm happy to make a video on that to help you out.